But I've heard like a very interesting, let's say, secret. You also played in the academy of Arsenal, right?
Oh, no, 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 no. First of all, I want to know from who you know this. I want to know from who you know this. But second of all, no, I need to make it clear. I had the chance to
Okay.
play in the youth of Arsenal when I was 13, 12, 13 years.
Welcome to Sphera Connected Cast. I'm your host Christian, and today we're here with a special guest, defender of Hammarby Fotboll and the National Team of Suriname, Shaquille Pinas. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm fine. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I know you've been very busy and you're taking some time off at the moment in the league, but yeah, we really appreciate you really taking the time and coming by and sharing your inspiring story with the youth. So really happy to have you here.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, we have some days off now. I was with the national team after the season, the first break of the season, I mean. And now we have some time off, and then I can do this kind of things. It's always nice to do and be around those people.
Amazing, amazing. And as we usually do actually during the interview, we always start with the same question. Who is Shaquille Pinas?
Shaquille Pinas is a funny guy, I think. A lot of emotions, a lot of energy, especially with the family and friends. A guy who wants to be surrounded of the with the family, and yeah, I'm a competitive guy as well. Like when it comes on the football way, but on a personal way, actually, like what I said, like funny, energetic, and emotional.
So that's how your friends would describe you.
Yeah, I think so. I think so. If I would call them now, yeah, I think they would. If they can say like 3 words, it will be this.
Amazing, amazing. And yeah, looking at your career, you started at Sport Club of Feyenoord. What has been like, if you just think way back, your first memory, playing football?
Oh, my first memory, I know like I was 4 years old, but I came early though because my father was youth coach of Feyenoord,
Yeah.
and then I was always like kicking balls there. And then on a moment, I don't know like which moment it was, but the head of the youth, he came to my mother and he said like, "Hey, why don't you register him for football?" And then my mother said like, "Why would we do that?" So she said it to my father, and then my father said like, "Hey, I'm the coach here, so I don't want to do it because then it will be like son off." And then my
Yeah.
mother said like, "Okay, I will do it." And then from there it started like 4 years going on the trial. And I think the first or the second training was immediately like, "Okay, stay with us."
Like, when did you thought of, you know what, I'm pretty good at football?
I understand what you mean. I think um, it's hard to say for me actually because I knew like when you go through my career like Feyenoord, then ADO, Allsvenskan boys, and then I came to Dordrecht, and I knew like in Dordrecht I was one of the best and one of the biggest talents of the club. But still, I was not like, I will become professional football player. Um, Not many know actually that when I was 16, 17, around that age, I just wanted to quit football. I didn't enjoy it anymore. So I don't know like what kind of age I was thinking like, oh, I will become professional football player.
Yeah, definitely, because you were during the youth playing for ADO Den Haag,
Yes,
but you made your professional debut with Dordrecht,
yes,
and then you came back to ADO, right?
yes.
How was the feeling then playing for ADO, the first team, after playing at Dordrecht, right?
It was amazing feeling actually. It was amazing. Um, yeah, I was in the youth in ADO. I was thinking like, okay, I want to grow from here and go to the first team of ADO. Then after 1 year, I left, playing 6 years in the youth of Dordrecht, make my debut for FC Dordrecht. And then in the summer, some things happened, and then I could go back to ADO. And it was for me like, oh, perfect situation. My second goal, like my first goal, was always to play for Feyenoord in the first team if it was possible.
Yeah.
But my second goal was ADO. And then when I got the chance, I was like, oh, goosebumps over my body. Yeah, I didn't know how to go quicker than what I did to ADO back. And yeah,
But
after that, it's history.
but then yes, your career moved pretty quickly because afterwards you also moved to Bulgaria and
Yeah.
now you're playing in Sweden.
Yes.
But I've heard like a very interesting, let's say, secret. You also played in the academy of Arsenal, right?
Oh, no. First of all, I want to know from who you know this. I want to know from who you know this. But second of all, I need to make it clear. I had the chance to
Okay.
play in the youth of Arsenal when I was 12, 13 years. Because one of my father's best friends, his son was playing there, Kelly Basilio. And we were there on vacation. And out of nothing, we just spoke with the head of the academy. And he said, okay, let's go. Take a training. And one training become two trainings. Two trainings become three trainings. And then I think I had 4 trainings or 3 trainings. And then they said, like, yeah, we can work something out. But I was 13 years old.
Wow.
So I didn't know what to do. And yeah, we didn't decide to go because also it was really strange how it happened. But yeah, afterwards, I'm really happy that I could train in the academy like that. And maybe I should go, but yeah.
At that age, how was the difference, like in terms of the quality? Like, were you able to adjust to Arsenal at that time?
With the quality, yes, like with the ball and that kind of stuff, because I'm a street boy, you know. I adjust to everything. I adapt, but on the pitch was like no problem. Like positional game, 11v11, no 9v9, was it 9v9?
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
was no
under
problem.
13, right? Under 30 or
No, it was
13.
11 against 11. No, it was
Oh,
11 against
already.
11.
Okay.
Yes, 11 against 11 was no problem. But after that, we had some top-up runs. Yeah, there I was struggling. There you can see like the UK
Yeah.
is different than the Netherlands.
You mean in conditioning and things like that?
Yes, yeah,
And running. Okay.
yeah.
Would you say during the youth that has been one of the key highlights, let's say practicing also with Arsenal at that time? Or which would you say has been like the key highlights during your youth career?
In my youth career, I think you would not think that I would say this, but I think my step backs. That's my highlight. My step backs.
Because
My setbacks. I need to say it like that.
you probably saw a lot of growth
Yeah,
after overcoming, like say, these obstacles.
yeah, yeah. Because yeah, you need to leave Feyenoord as a guy from my age, I think 11 or 12. Then you go to ADO relegate, leave ADO again. You go to amateur club for 1 year to show yourself again, to compete. Like, hey, I'm Shaquille Pinas. I want to come in the professional youth team. Actually, it was a good season. Scoring goals, making assists. Get the chance to go to Dordrecht. Take it with both hands. Afterwards, like 2, 3 weeks later, I could go back to ADO, but sometimes you just need to do it. And I went to Dordrecht 6 years, as I said. On the age of 16, 17, wanted to quit football. Still keep on pushing after that. And yeah, this is what it brought me.
That's amazing. Now you play in the first division in Sweden. You play for the National Team of Suriname.
Yes.
And then, because we're discussing different interesting topics at the moment, before we even go into overcoming obstacles, I really want to, go back in time when you made your debut with Suriname. Because I think it's something very special. It was very special for you. It was very special for your family. So I just want for you to take us, okay, how was the feeling, going through these obstacles and then you're representing your country, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Outside the youth, outside of personal things, the biggest achievement of myself. playing for Suriname. Yeah, it started already a year before the coach came to the Netherlands. Like, hey, we want to get the players from Europe to play for Suriname. And it was a long project, like really long, a really long process. And on a moment he called me and he said, Shaq, we made it. You get your passport. You can play for Suriname. And then I was in the first group of the guys who came, and I'm still there. And then, you travel for the first time to Suriname as a football player, not like on personal time, like for vacation or something.
For serious work.
Yes. And then my mother was living there with her man. Yeah, I don't know. I swear, I think in my career, like 3 times goosebumps when I played the game. Just 3 times. And that was one of those. That when we started to sing our national anthem, goosebumps. And then you can make the first goal. Yeah, it was so special. My mother started crying on the stands.
Wow.
Yeah. And in that moment, you don't, how you say it, you don't realize it. But just afterwards, like after the game, I spoke to my mother. I spoke to some fans from Suriname. And then you start to realize like, oh, we really did something in this country. So, yeah, that was my biggest achievement.
I think at the same time, you also wanted to be a role model for the youth in Suriname, for also players that they can achieve and play for the national team. I think it's also now we're looking more players here in the Netherlands also representing the national team of Suriname. And I think, yeah, you've done a great job with that. And just thinking again about obstacles and overcoming obstacles, right? The youth sees you as a role model. I think a difficult period in your life was when your mom left from the Netherlands to Suriname. At that time, there was to be close to your grandpa. You were 18 years old, and of course, you were making strides in the football world.
Yeah.
I think you missed her cooking. That was one of the things.
Yes.
But how did you deal with this situation, right? You had to perform. You want to become like the best players possible, but your mom is so far away. It's not in Europe. It's in South America. Suriname is in South America, so it's very long drive. Long flight. Sorry, and time difference. I think that's a very difficult one as well. So how do you cope with these obstacles?
I have to say first, my brothers, my sister, my father, they pushed me to it. My friends, they pushed me to it. So, just trying to stay in contact with my mother as much as possible, like the time difference. And on the first moment, it felt like, oh, why do you leave me? But on the second moment, you immediately understand, like, it's for my grandfather. And it was always a dream to go back to Suriname, to live there and enjoy life. But when she say it, it is like, oh, like you don't realize it. But when the moment happened, then you start to think like, wow, my mother really left me. And it's not like she really left me on a bad way, but on a good way. But the feeling is like, Mom, why do you leave me? I'm just 18. I need you here. But as I said, like, I completely understood her because it was for my grandfather. Now, luckily, she's back. She's living here again. But yeah, just keep in contact, calling. And it took us, my sister, my first nephew, and myself, 1.5 years, I think. And then we surprised in Suriname. Oh, that was like not normal. We took a plane on Christmas Day, and normally she texts every time, every Christmas, every birthday. Doesn't matter which day she texts, she call. And if we don't reply, she said like, "Hey, why do you don't reply?" But our phones are off, playing that kind of stuff. Of course. And then my uncle called like, "Hey, somebody broke in your house." So she hurried back with her man, and then when she came there, she saw us, Yeah, she broke down tears, everything, and she said like the next morning I opened your door to see if it was like real, like you were there. Those moments are not normal. They are amazing, amazing.
Of course, you won't forget those moments,
No,
right?
no,
But at the same time, you also grew,
yeah,
right, as a player.
yeah,
Your mom being very far away, and now after the Netherlands, you played in Bulgaria,
yeah.
and then now in Sweden, as we mentioned. What has been, talking about challenges, of course, the most, yeah, difficult challenges transitioning to other leagues, right?
Yeah,
I think then you go there, it's also like a new place. You don't know anybody actually, and you have to perform
yes.
because you're there to work. What were the biggest, yeah, challenges first in Bulgaria and then in Sweden?
Um, I think Bulgaria was the biggest challenge actually because Bulgaria was first time outside Netherlands, first time on my own. Uh, need to cook, need to do everything. Yeah, you
Can
know,
you cook? Can you cook?
I can, but I'm not the best, but I can.
Okay,
Like
okay.
I can survive it.
To survive, yeah.
Yes, but yeah, you need to cook. You need to prepare yourself. You do the washing. You do everything. What you do on a normal daily base, it's on you now. I was 22, 23 when I left, and going to other country, speaking another language. Yeah,
Traveling, the
yeah,
weather.
traveling.
Was the weather totally different?
Uh,
I mean, the weather in the Netherlands, we know how it
yeah,
is.
I need to say Bulgaria is better though.
Ah,
In
okay.
the summers, it's not normal. It's like I think 30 degrees or something, 29. It's really warm there actually.
Do you still go?
To Bulgaria,
Yeah? Or
I've
visit
been
maybe?
I've been there once after I left because one of my close friends is Sergio Padt, is the goalkeeper from
Yeah.
them.
That's what I read. You were playing together with him
Yeah,
at that time there.
yeah. I have some close friends where I always want to see and always want to speak to. He's one of them, and then I have a couple of more. But for him, I traveled, yeah, and his family because they helped me so much. I was on my own,
Yeah.
but every day I was there. His kids were all. It felt like they were my kids every day, or going to a playground, or just chilling on the couch, watching a series, playing games. Yeah, like it felt on that moment like, and it's still like that. And he knows it. Their family is my family is their family. We've been to on vacation together. So there was the biggest challenge. And then going to Sweden was much easier for me actually because you've been already outside the Netherlands. So you know what the challenge will be.
Yeah.
You only go to a different country, but you're older, more experienced. So that was easier.
And I would say also the difference between the Netherlands and Bulgaria is bigger than the Netherlands and Sweden.
Yeah. Yeah.
Probably that also helps. Okay, and if we talk about your football club, Hammarby Fotboll. I
Yeah.
saw the goal you scored recently. The
Yeah.
stadium went crazy. It was a full stadium. Like that was like amazing. How are the fans? How do you feel playing? In Sweden for this specific club.
The fans are the best in Sweden. 100%. They are the best in Sweden. So every game, you feel like, oh, I want to give them something back, like home and away. It's amazing. Stadium full, 33,000 people, 32. Especially derbies, like full. So yeah, it's amazing feeling. Actually, it is crazy that we didn't go in Europe against Twente because the supporters pushed us, and that's something what I want to give back. But if I will give it back, we don't know. We don't know. There, this is the. There are so many opportunities every window, and I want to give them something back. But let's see.
It's gonna be all right. I mean, it's still during the season, so now you're gonna go back.
Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna go back in a couple of days,
Yeah.
and then we need to start training because the competition is starting quick. And yeah, as I said, who knows what will come.
You guys will become champions.
I
I
hope.
believe in it.
I hope so.
Amazing. And of course, you've lived abroad. I want to understand how living abroad has influenced your interest. I've heard of you. You're a padel fan, but
Yeah.
does it come from living in Bulgaria and Sweden? I know in Sweden, padel is
It's pretty big.
pretty big.
Yes.
It was one of the countries actually at one time that I researched that they were opening padel courts like crazy.
Yes.
Maybe that's the reason why. But are there like living abroad? What did it change in you?
Um. Yeah, I think different interests. Still, I like to play PlayStation. 100%. Yeah, I like to play it, but yeah, different interest. I need to say, I become more mature in like abroad of the Netherlands. More mature. Uh, I also don't have the feeling so much like, oh, I want to come back to the Netherlands. No, my feeling is, oh, I want to go to my family. I want to go to my son. I want to go to my friends. That's the feeling what I have. It's not like I have the feeling I want to go back to the Netherlands. So because I live abroad, I have different interests. What I like more than what I had in the Netherlands. Playing padel. I like to watch tennis. Business-wise, I like to. Now I need to say, last couple of years, I like to read books. In the
I've-
Netherlands,
There's a lot of books here
Yeah.
if you want to borrow one.
yeah, no, in the Netherlands, I would never watch a book, read a book, never. I can tell you now, never I would read a book because it's too easy to go to my friends or to go there or to go there. Now I'm abroad. When I'm coming home, I'm home, and then I just want to chill. First, I always read a book. I would say like, hey, should read this book, Master Your Mindset. You read that?
I haven't no, not that one.
That's a good
It's a
one.
good one. I
Yes.
have a lot of business books and personal growth books, but I might have to get that one. Yeah.
Master Your Mindset. Trust me.
Okay, I'll write it down.
Yeah.
Amazing. And I've also understood of you that you're an ambassador at the Robin Polley
Yes.
Foundation. Shout out to Robin.
Shout out to Robin.
Also the reason why you're here. One of your great friends.
Yes.
Um.
He is also one of them.
Oh,
One of those close friends. Robin
Oh,
is also
yeah.
one of them.
great. Like as an ambassador for the Robin Polley Foundation, why do you feel as a football player that you have to be an ambassador and give back? You know, where does that come from?
First of all, from your heart. First of all, that's the most important one. It needs to come from your heart. You should not do it like, oh, I just do it because I want to do it. No, it should come from your heart. Second of all, what I said, Robin and I are Robin is one of my best mates. So that's the second part. And the third part is like you need to also embrace your role model, embrace like you can have the network, what he or somebody else wants to reach. And if you can help him with that, why not?
Amazing. Of course, you have a lot of like as a football player, you have a big following, and it's also nice to show. Okay, this is actually what you can do. You know,
Yeah.
as a football player and as a good person. So I think indeed that's very important. So with everything that you have achieved as a professional football player, of course the youth sees you as a role model. Which advice would you give a young girl or a young boy that wants to achieve what you have achieved in football?
Um, Listen to your parents or your family, but I think the parents are important. Do whatever you like. Don't do things like what you don't like. It's important that you find what is making you happy, what gives you the feeling like, oh, this is what I like to do. This is what I love to do. And I think the third thing is like, what you love to do it as much as possible. And if it is football, if it is paddle, if it is maths, if it is something else, do it as much as possible. Because then you start learning. Even if it goes wrong, I always say like, you're winning or you're learning. You never,
Ah,
almost never lose. You learn what you did wrong. And that's what I want to think about, what I want to give them to think about. Like, learn how to do things good. Learn how to deal with failure. I have a tattoo on my rib here. It's from Kobe Bryant because I watched his documentary. It was from looking at National Geographic with my father. I don't know why. To see lions hunting there.
the prey, yeah.
Yes. And then the first time it goes wrong. And the second time they surround it to take it. So what you should do is surround what you want to achieve and take it. And the tattoo is like the first to show up, the last to leave. Love the grind. Love what you're doing. And I start to embrace loving playing football. And in the beginning, it was love. On the moment it started to become professional a little bit in the youth. And then I switched it in my mind like, hey, I don't want the professional side. I just want to love the game. I just want to be on the green field. The green pitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would say the green pitch. I would just want to be on the pitch, doing what I love to do, playing with my friends.
But yeah, and then it becomes serious, right? Afterwards.
It will become serious, but it will become as serious as you make it in your head.
Yeah.
And I was struggling with it as well, but just trying to get the switch in your mind, like, hey, at the end, it's just a game.
Yeah.
Just more parts outside of football are important, but it's just a game. As long as I'm on the pitch, I will enjoy it because that's what I love to do. All the things around, yeah, say what you want.
Interesting. Good advice. And I just thought of this, like maybe a valuable lesson that you've learned from someone, and you can also say like maybe a footballer, maybe your mom, maybe a friend.
Yeah. I had some, but I think Ricardo Kishna, yeah, Ricardo Kishna, he was like, he's my bigger brother. Yes, like Robin, Ricardo, and I, like we in a group chat, we call each other everything.
Robin was mentioning also Ricardo.
Yeah,
It's very interesting. So he was
and I didn't check it. I
that.
didn't check it.
That's, I want to say, crazy. Like
Yeah,
both of you were looking at him as the main role model within the team
yeah,
in Den Haag, because at that time he already played at a couple of clubs,
yes,
the bigger clubs, and I think when he came into the dressing room, it was like giving the advice to the young
yeah.
guys that are going to make it, of course, as well. So
Yeah, as I said, like I knew him a little bit before, but I didn't know him like that good when he came in the dressing room. And you think like, oh, he played for big clubs. Maybe he's arrogant. And he came. That's what you think maybe. And he came, and he grabbed me like his little brother. Like, hey, we're gonna make it up to the top together. And same he did with Polley, and he helped us with everything, um, giving advice, being hard to us as well when he needed. And that's what I want to say because you asked the best advice was the moment he was really hard to me. I didn't want to train as left back on the training. And I was like, and then he came from forward all the way to the back, started screaming at me. And then on that moment, you think like, wow, what's happening? But afterwards, you understand what he tried to say. And then he said it also like easy, on the easy way.
wow.
Yeah, that guy's not a friend. That guy's a brother.
Thanks, Ricardo. And I think
Ricardo Kishna.
is a big impact he had on you. And I think the same time you being in that position afterwards, you will do the same to the youth. I
Yeah,
think it was so important. You were like, wow, also want to do the same thing to the youth in the future.
yeah.
Sorry for that one.
No, it's okay.
Um, so thanks a lot for sharing your insights, your tips, your advice. It was very nice to talk about your story. definitely will inspire the youth. But if they want to find you, where can they find you? Shaquille Pinas, where can
Yeah.
they find you?
Instagram, Shaquille Pinas 19. Find me on Instagram.
That's what you use the most?
Yeah, Instagram. That's the most common thing as
Yeah.
well. Like, yeah, I can say my WhatsApp, but then it will be
No,
crazy too.
no, better not. But
It is WhatsApp or Instagram. So they can find me on Instagram, like what I said, Shaquille Pinas 19. And thanks to this guy as well for this nice podcast.
no, thank you for coming. We know how busy you are, so we really appreciate it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.